So if you're new to Python and you really just want to learn the basics, don't worry, because I have a tutorial here for you and I'm going to be making a bunch of tutorials on Python fundamentals. So, hi, what's up? Welcome back, or welcome to Creative Coding. My name is Mark, other known as Creative Coding, and without further ado, let's get into learning Python. So here I am in this file, and we can create a file. And as you can see, I created 3 files, so I already recorded a video, but I didn't feel very confident about the video, so I'm going to do it again. It was too long as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, and I'm going to create a new file. So we can call this file anything we want as long as it ends in .py. So I can name this file, let's name this, today we're going to go over, like, commenting and stuff more than just commenting, because that's very small. But anyways, let's just call it commenting.py. So here, and as I said, commenting.py, the first thing that we're going to learn about is commenting in Python, because that's very important. I'm not going to talk too much about what it is, but it's basically something that the computer ignores while running your Python file, and it just helps you organize stuff. Like, you can organize where your functions are, but that's a little later. So let's just get into how to declare a comment. So we declare a comment by saying hashtag, and then we can write whatever we want, and Python will just ignore what we wrote here. It's just for us and for other people that read our code. So we can call this Python tutorial #1, and the date is, I believe it's 23/5/21. Anyways, so that's basically a comment. So as you can see, comments are very easy to write. All you need is a hashtag in front, and that's basically comments. So now let's just go over strings, integers, and what am I thinking of? Booleans. So these are the basic fundamental data types that you're going to need to know while going into Python. So I'm going to comment a section for strings, comment a section for integers, and comment a section for Booleans. And I'm going to go over these fairly quickly because, don't worry, it doesn't take too long to understand, and the tutorial should be pretty quick. So strings. So what is a string? A string is basically anything that is like text. So we have text. So we can have 1, 2, 3 as text, right? We could have hello as text. We could have really anything we want as text. It doesn't really matter too much. But this is essentially a string in a nutshell. Something that is basically text, kind of. So how do we declare the strings? It's pretty simple. All you gotta do is just put either single quotes or double quotes. Make sure they start and end in this, otherwise it won't count. So if I write something here, it doesn't really end and it won't work, but I need to finish it off with a double quote. So it doesn't really matter if you use single quotes or double quotes. Use whatever you like. I typically use double quotes, but sometimes I use single quotes if I'm feeling a little bit lazy, but it doesn't really matter. And yeah, that's essentially strings in a nutshell. So I can just comment. So a string is if I want to hold text, I will put that data of text in a string. That's essentially strings. Now let's go to integers. So integers are kind of like, you have integers and floats. I'm not going to go too much into floats, but they're basically numbers with decimals. So we have integers here, and those are basically whole numbers. Now, we don't write them in strings like 2. So if we write this is not actually a string. This is not actually an integer. This is a string. But to declare an integer, all we need to do is we just write the number. So it's very, very quick, very, very easy. All these are integers, all this stuff. That's integers. Really, really quickly, really, really simply. They're really, really simply. They're basically whole numbers. And we declare them by just declaring them. We don't really there's no really rules. You don't put any of these double quotes or anything. You just declare it like that. Great. So that's integers. So next and last are Booleans. So what are Booleans? So Booleans are, because it sounds the weirdest out of them. I don't know about you. It sounded kind of weird to me, but not to worry. They're very, very simple. So Booleans are basically true and false values. I think some people like to call them truthy and falsy values. I just call them true and false. So Booleans are true and false values. So we can say stuff like, I don't know, 2 is equal to 3. and then we can run this. I'm going to teach you about these conditions, why I put 2 equal signs. It might seem a little weird in a later tutorial, but if Python reads this, it's going to return a Boolean value, and because 2 is obviously not equal to 3, it's going to return a Boolean value of false. So this is equal to the Boolean value of false. Cool. So that's essentially commenting out stuff, and also the 3 basic data types in Python. I wanted to keep this tutorial very quick and simple, but I'm going to go into way more in-depth stuff. Later tutorials, like next tutorial should be probably your conditional statements, like, and I won't go too much into them right now, like this, what do these mean, and all that stuff in the next tutorial, and also variables and printing those variables, and then inputs, for loops, while loops, arithmetic, I'm drawing a blank here, and more stuff like that, functions, all that stuff in later tutorials for the Python fundamentals. I'm not going to call this course, but it's just the Python fundamentals tutorials. So that's basically all you need to know for today. So in summary, today we covered commenting, and also we covered data types in Python. So data types are basically, and commenting and data types are basic in every single programming language that you're going to see. And yeah, but this is just the way you would have them and type them in Python. So these are basically what we covered today. That's all for today's tutorial. Thanks for watching. Live creatively, and I'll see you in the next one. Creative Coding out.